Hi, Gibaud, Gibaud.com, and today it is a challenge. I don't know if you saw my video a few years ago about the Nikon D750, and many people are asking if it was still worth it because it had been a long time on the market. And some people say, yeah, but it is a reflex camera. What do you have as a mirrorless camera? So, well, there are many mirrorless cameras. No, but a full frame camera. Okay, but there's still many full frame camera. Yeah, but affordable. Oh, okay. Well, secondhand, there are many mirrorless full frame camera that are affordable. Yes, but we don't want to buy secondhand. We want to buy new. Okay, well, I found it. I bought it, and actually it cost me money. I show you. This is the Alpha 7 Mark II by Sony. So I'm not just going to speak about the camera. I'm going to also tell you how to keep a low budget, adding some lenses from third party, all this, and tell you a bit more about the whole thing. So how you can keep your budget limited and still get a great gear. So let's start. Sony announced this camera on the 20th of November 2014. This year it will be 10 years. So you would think, wow, a camera that is 10 years old, yeah, is it worth it? Well, I think when you read the specifications, not the video parts, but the photography parts, you realize that they're advanced. You also realize that this camera is probably offering better build, better, many points are better than an entry-level camera of 2024, 2023. That means that some people are going to have some reflection is, should I buy this 10-year-old camera, the way it was thought designed, or should I buy an entry-level camera that is almost the same budget and doesn't have the same build, probably doesn't give better results? What would you prefer? So we're going to speak about it because I think this is a big mistake many people do. They want a 2023, 2024 design camera, and they forget that entry-level camera are not better than this 10-year-old top-of-the-range camera, because when it came out, that was the top. Okay, so yes, it's worth thinking about it. Let's speak about it. The good thing about Sony is they keep selling their cameras after many years. So I don't know if they build too many and they have a lot of stock, or if they keep making them. I don't know. But this camera is not very hard to find. You can find it new in a box in shops, sometimes online, but very often in shops. And price is around from 700 to 1,000 euros. Depends where you find, where you are, it depends, okay? If you look at second-hand, obviously the idea was not second-hand, but new, but still, if you want a second-hand, you can find it a lot cheaper also, okay? So that's the really good point. But many people are probably asking themselves, but a camera that was designed 10 years ago, even more, because when it starts selling, it's been designed, thought for many years before, okay? So, but camera concept designed 10 years ago, is it still good today? That's not the question. The question is not if I compare to 2024 cameras, is it still good? No, the question is compared to your pictures. When you make pictures of flowers, are flowers moving faster nowadays than 10 years ago? If you make a picture of a cyclist, on his bicycle, does he go faster than 10 years ago? If you do wedding, because many people have made wedding reportage with this camera, well, not this one, but this model, okay? Does the bride run faster in church than 10 years ago? Obviously, no. So if you get a camera made in 2024, you're going to try to make the same pictures you would make 10 years ago with this one. So there is absolutely no problem. Forget about people saying this is obsolete. Yeah, technology may be obsolete compared to what you had what you have now, but the reality is the picture you want to make are exactly the same. So obviously there's some comfort in nowadays camera that maybe you don't have in this one, but still this camera is still worth it. So we're going to have a look at the specification and I will give you my opinion. Also, the idea is not that you save money on buying a body like this. and then spend thousands on very high-end and expensive lenses like a G Master 2 by Sony. We're going to look at other lenses that are more affordable, so you can keep your old kit in an affordable way, and you can still have fun as an amateur or make money as a professional using this gear with a combo that is affordable and works for you and for anyone. Even if you are not really interested in this Sony camera, I think it's interesting to have a look at the video. Why? Because you're going to realize that during the last 10 years, actually image quality is still the same in normal situation. And what has really changed and bettered in cameras nowadays is the video part, not the photography part. Obviously, some people will say, yeah, but it's only the video camera, so why should I pay for these better things and whistle on the video part? Because actually, photography also benefits from the video. Why? Because high ISO are better thanks to video, to work on that. And also the autofocus are better thanks to the video. But actually, if you look at image quality, you will get the same result with this 10-year-old camera than a 2024 camera. Some people will still say, yeah, but my new camera is 60 million pixels and this one is 24, so I get more details. Yes, obviously. But I don't speak about image, I speak about image quality, not details. And if you get a 2024 camera, there are many still with 24, 26 million pixels, you will get the same quality as this. So that also makes you think. Don't you think so? 10 years ago, this camera was high range. So it is the full frame sensor with 24.3 million pixels. In 2024, there are still many cameras with resolution between 20 and 26 million pixels. So there are many in this range. So it's still up to date on this. It was the first full frame camera with IBIS, in-body image stabilization. Micro Four Thirds had, but as a full frame camera, that was the first one. But 4.5 stops. Nowadays, we're looking more between 6 and 8 stops, so that's a big difference. But still, it was the first with an IBIS. When we see a big difference is in the video part. Only Full HD, 1080p, okay, 60 and 50 frames per second. And nowadays, you can find in entry-level or mid-level cameras, you find 4K, 6K, 8K in top of the range, okay? So you realize that video was really not what it is now. Also because many people at that time, if they wanted to make video, they would use a dedicated video camera. But yeah, tendency has been changing. Many people prefer to have that kind of small body and use it for both photography and video, or even exclusive videographer. Many prefer to have that kind of body instead of a video body, okay? But wow, this is really the big difference. But when you look at the photography part, there's nothing to be ashamed of compared to nowadays camera. Yeah, mid-level, entry-level, yeah, and camera that costs like 2,000. My Lumix I'm recording right now has the same resolution, and it costs a lot more. Okay, so yeah. So let's see if this camera specs are still up to date in 2024. First, it already had the possibility to connect your app on your smartphone. Not every camera was doing it. The size I really love. It's small. It's like 127 millimeter wide, 95.7 high, and 50, well, almost 60 millimeter thick. That's small. Good. So that's great for a person who don't have a really big hand. Okay, that's fine. I like this small size. At the time it came out, there were still many reflex cameras on the market, and they were really large, really a lot bigger than this. So it was a bit surprising. Many people like this format. The weight is 600 grams, almost 600 grams with battery and memory card. So that's good. The fact that it's small right now, for me, it's not a problem because I bought this camera for doing photography. But it's true that when doing video, this small format gave many problems of overheating. So that was the big problem with Sony is, yes, yeah, really hot circulation, all this, so it was a problem. It's full metal, by the way, okay? It had Wi-Fi and NFC. NFC, if your smartphone has NFC, it's just you get it close to the camera and then the file will be transferred directly to your smartphone. I never used it, okay? It already had anti-dust, so that was great because it actually vibrates and yeah, take out the dust that is easy to take out, not the one that is stuck on the sensor, obviously, but that was a feature that not every camera had at that time, so good point also. It also had a digital zoom. What is that? It's actually going to crop your picture in photography up to 8 times, in videography up to 4 times. It means if you don't have a really long focal length on your lens, you can still get closer without changing lens, without buying an extra lens. Obviously, you lose on resolution, but if you're going to publish your picture on social networks, that's fine, that's no problem. That can save you from time to time. Maybe it's better to crop in post-production, it's up to you, but you can do it in body, that's good. Although I would not buy this camera for video nowadays, except if you want to do full HD, okay? It still has things that not all cameras right now have in 2024, which is both microphone jack and a headphone jack. So good point. It has a mini HDMI and also a micro USB. Yeah, micro USB. Nowadays they all have USB-C. Okay, so yeah. If we look at the ISO, 100 to 51,200 ISO. That's good. This camera with no problem, you can use it at 6400 ISO, that's fine. Even 12,000, that's fine. And we all know that any photographer with experience, they know that will be fine at 6400 ISO and even 12,000. Okay, so that's good, no problem. Good point. It uses memory SD UHS-1, which are cheaper than UHS-2. So good point if you're on a budget. Also, if you have some old Sony memory stick, they can also go in there. So that's a good point. So you see this camera was advanced. The autofocus has phase and contrast detection. So that's good because a phase, not every camera now have it. And this Lumix S5 Mark II that is recording me right now is 18 months old, and it was the first Lumix camera with phase detection, so that's a good point. It also has face and smile detection. I never heard about smile detection before, but yeah, face and smile, okay, it detects. The monitor is 3-inch wide, and you can move it this way and that way. I know that some people like flip out screen because they said they can return it and protect it, but beware, these flip out screens are not made to protect the screen when you bring it in your bag. The idea is not that. The idea is for video. If you want to do vlogging and see yourself, and also when you make video, you prefer to have the screen to be out of the camera, out of the body, so it ventilates better, it doesn't overheat that fast. That's the idea of this screen that flip on the side, okay? Not to protect it, because maybe some people really abuse with this, returning the screen, and they end up with a problem in the system here, on the point, on the articulation, and some cable can cut, and then the screen doesn't work anymore, okay? So understand this is not a protection system feature, it's a video feature to have this flip out screen, okay? But in this one, you don't have it anyway. Another good point, when you look at this budget in 2024, most cameras will offer you a shutter speed of 1/4000th of a second. And yeah, that's good, but this one, it was a top of the range camera, so you get 1/8000, so that's great, good point. The really weak point about this camera is the battery. It sounds like a sample, and if you like it, you buy more of this, okay? So actually, it will last for about 350 pictures, which is fine for, yeah, a portrait session or a fashion shoot that is about, yeah, half an hour or something like this, depends on your type of shooting, okay? I never made that many pictures, but it's true that if you go out with this for a wedding or full day reportage, that will be short. So you will have to buy some extra battery. You can get the original Sony batteries or a third brand like Patona I use also. It's true that after a couple of years, Patona, they get a bit thicker and they don't fit anymore. at the risk of explosion? Well, easy, you just throw them away in the right place, obviously, and you buy a new one, but you spend a quarter of what an original costs. So you make your calculation. Obviously, if you can afford the original Sony battery, go for them, and that's it. Okay, so I think that's not bad for a camera that is 10 years old to have these features that some cameras nowadays don't have. Okay, so I think this is a really good point. So let's speak about the negative points. Well, first, it has only one memory card. So if your idea is to use this camera for wedding photography or social photography and you cannot repeat the picture, that may be a problem. Well, I've made many reportage with just a camera that had just one memory card, but I used two cameras at the same time. Most of the time I make a picture, then I've got both hanging from my neck, and then I go changing cameras, okay? But yes, if you're going to have only one camera, you should never do a social reportage with only one camera anyway. But still, if you're going to do it, having just one memory card maybe is a problem. And second point, the IBIS. The IBIS is great, 4.5 stops, but if you expect to do 1 second handheld photos as you do with nowadays camera that has 8 stop or 7 stop IBIS, you will not get it. Is it a problem? Well, you need to be aware of this, but otherwise that's fine. So is it a negative point? It depends on your expectation. Another small problem on this camera is that with some lenses, not all, when you go over 1/2000th of a second, you get like a black bar at the top, same as when you get out of synchro flash, okay? So I made some research and it's easy to avoid. It's simply because by default, it activates the electronic shutter on first curtain. So you have to deactivate this and that's it, okay? So if you see, use this camera and you get a black bar at the top, that's the reason when you're high speed. Okay, so deactivate this and that's fine, that easy. But honestly, I'm so surprised that looking at the feature of this 10-year-old camera, it's still, yeah, it's still up to date, no problem. But now we're going to look at what lenses you could use to keep in a low budget. So let's go for it. So how did this start? Well, actually, I said that many people ask for a budget camera, but also brands like present many lenses by third-party brands like Tamron, Sigma, also many Chinese brands. And some ask me, Eric, could you present a Sony full-frame camera? Oh, I say, yeah, well, full-frame camera. I've got a Lumix S5 Mark II with L mount, and some said, yeah, but there are some lenses we just have for Sony E or Nikon Z. So it would be great if you would get a Sony camera. I said, well, I didn't say that. I said, in my head, in my mind, I said, that would be great if I would get a Sony camera to test them. So I said, okay, yes, send them to me. So I already have 5 here. One I cannot show because it's under embargo. It's not announced yet. But the first one I received was this TT Artisan 500mm 6.3. And it's a manual focus, so some people will say, Eric, be serious. How can you make action photography with this? Well, look at this picture. Yeah, I made a whole series of windsurf with this lens. Yeah, it's heavy. You shouldn't use a tripod. It was handheld, okay? There are some post-production in there because you'll see. But I will present all these lenses in separate videos anyway. This is why in this video I don't show you many pictures made with this camera. Basically because there are millions on the internet. You will see my pictures when I present each lens, okay? But there's not much to show about the pictures about the Alpha 7 Mark II because there are millions already published, okay? Yes, but a lens like this costs $313 US, which is really, really, really the cheapest you can find. The next step is Tamron with over 1,000 euros. So if you don't have any budget, yeah, I know it's manual focus. It's not easy to use. You need to have some technique. But if you cannot spend more than this, you can get great pictures with this lens, okay? So yeah, that's an option. Then Viltrox sent me this autofocus lens, a 20mm 2.8. I'm testing right now. Great results. It's plastic, but it's autofocus, and it costs only 199 euros. So cheaper, impossible. Then Maker sent me 2 lenses, 85 and 50mm. The 85mm is 1.4. This is their top of the range quality with aperture ring, with clicks, all this. It opens at 1.4 and costs 469 euros. But there is a small brother or sister that is 1.8 that costs 199 euros. The same build as this 50mm that is also 1.8 and costs 199 euros, under 200. So really, when you look at the possibility of lenses, affordable lenses, that's great. And so you can get a great body still, yeah, in the run in 2024 and get these lenses. I know some people will say, yeah, but these lenses, how will they work with a 60 million pixel sensor? Come on, if you ask this video is not for you. I speak to people on a budget, limited budget, because if you spend money on a Ferrari, you can afford to have the right tires, not wooden tires. Same thing, if you can afford a 4,000, 6,000, 8,000 camera body, you can afford the lenses. Otherwise, you should not buy that body and buy a cheaper one and get normal lenses. That's it. So for me, on a 24 million pixel, these lenses are doing great. So if you can see, you can have a great body, great build, full metal, and get lenses you can afford and get a combo that is affordable. It's not the cheapest one, but you want it full frame mirrorless and you get it, and you get great result. Some people will say you also have the Canon R8, but yes, but it's not stabilized. And it's true, this one is only 4.5 stops, but still it's better than nothing. And also there are not that many lenses, but there are no lenses, third party, only Canon lenses. And second, price is higher, so it's out of the game. Okay, so for me, this is probably the best option if you are on a budget, you want full frame, and you want mirrorless camera. So for me, this camera is completely recommendable, and you will see my video as I go testing these lenses, separate videos, and give you idea for you to use on this camera. So thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you like it. If you feel it may interest other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's a small button down here, it's a small bell. If you click on the bell, get notified when I upload a new video. My website, gibaud.com. If you have any question, can leave a comment below. Also leave you links of my gear on Amazon, links of everything I reviewed by K&F Concept, and Flashes by Westcott, more affiliated links, and also a link to my PayPal account in case you wanted to make a donation. Thank you very much. Please take care of yourself and see you soon. Bye.